You could join us. In our first story, leaked confidential documents from National Security reveal the Tema and Takoradi port lost more than $100 million in imports, duties and taxes on tons of clinker imported by cement manufacturing companies over the last 5 years. In our three-part series titled Leaking Ports, JoyNews' Kwete Nate takes a look at how the absence of weigh bridges at the ports contributed to this massive revenue loss.
The annual consumption of cement in Ghana is estimated to be 5 million tons per year. Thus, according to the 2018 statistics from the trade information website GhanaTrade.com. Leaked files from the National Security reveal that in the last 5 years, there has been a significant and steady increase in the quantities of clinker imported by cement manufacturing companies into the country. Data from the Ghana Shippers Authority reveal that 1.8 million tons of clinker was imported in 2014, 1.2 million in 2015, 1.4 million in 2016, 1.9 million in 2017, but 895,519 in 2018. In 2017, 2 more cement factories went into production, increasing the country's capacity. This should have normally have resulted in an increase in the importation of clinker in 2018. Out of the estimated 5 million tons of cement consumed in 2018, 4.5 million tons was produced locally, given that clinker constitutes 70% of the composition of cement. The national security documents show that the amount of clinker needed for the 4.5 million tons of cement produced locally in 2018 ought to have been 3,150,000 tons. However, less than 1 million tons of clinker was declared by the cement manufacturing companies. In fact, only 895,519 tons of clinker was declared. This represents 2.2 million tons of shortfall from the estimated figure. The ports have no weigh bridges for weighing liquid and bulk imports for the purposes of assessing duties and taxes. The leaked documents reveal that the ports rely on data from vessels and cement manufacturing companies for tax and duty calculations. Tema Customs Sector Commander Joseph Eduche confirms the absence of weigh bridges at the ports.
The weighing bridge at the Eastern Gate is under repairs. We are refurbishing it. And then when the bulk goods come, we rely on the report weight, and we also have MPS weight, we have GPHA weight, where we reconcile.
Like the port authorities, the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority also relies on multiple data sources to charge duties on imports by the cement companies.
So we have a system of valuation, but you don't have the customs value. It's a system of valuation, and now that the benchmark we have been, it's a government policy that any imported good, when you look at the value, and it's reasonable, it is the actual invoice, actual amount paid for the goods. We have you must divide it by 50%. We divide every value by half. And that one is the FOB, which is now operating. With regard to the vehicles, so it's the same. Every vehicle, the FOB is slashed by 30%. And that is what we are using now. So we have a system of verifying values, and not that we straight away use the custom value. We don't have any custom value, but we use the transaction value. We use what has been recommended by WTO, so that is it.
Let me find out. Do you have an instance where you brought to the attention of these cement manufacturers that you have noticed differences in the values of the data that they've submitted to you in terms of their imports that they've made with regard to dry and liquid product that they've brought into the country?
The valuation system is done in Accra. We have we have a department or an office in Accra where they verify all trading documents to be sure of the value. So when it is approved, they come to Tema to clear. But at times we also use historical data to check. So when we see that your value is going down, we prompt your attention that no, within this period you brought this consignment value at this. Why is it now is going down?
In 2018, for instance, the revenue loss, according to the National Security Files, was over $62 million in import and port duties. The estimated duty on a ton of clinker is $26, while dues are $2 per ton. Government therefore lost about $5.8 million in duties and taxes, while the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority lost $4 million as a result of the more than 2 million tons of clinker that were undisclosed. The National Security Files attribute the leakage to poorly calibrated weigh bridges. The Ghana Standards Authority, however, says it tests the weigh bridges of the cement companies twice a year. It claims the margin of error was insignificant. George Omanichumesi is the director of metrology at the Ghana Standards Authority.
Ghana Standards Authority has the mandate to verify all weighing and measuring instruments used for trade. All manufacturing companies, including the cement manufacturers, have their own weigh bridges, and these weigh bridges are verified twice a year to ascertain the accuracies of the various weigh bridges. So it's not true that those weigh bridges have not been verified.
From the National Security Files, it seems there's a win for the cement manufacturing companies, while the state coffers bleed. General Manager, Marketing and Corporate Affairs at the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Esther J.B. Donko, holds a contrary view. She says the port's measures make it difficult for the cement companies to exploit the system.
With Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, I would say that as far as we are concerned, we are not losing revenue. Now, the bulk operators, yes, I will accept that we don't have the kind of weighing bridge that can establish the gross weight of the bulk that is coming through our ports. But we have a system. First of all, the lines would have to provide the manifest, and the manifest contains the details of the cargo that is coming, its nature, its tonnage, weight, as we will put it, and then other details for the cargo. So first of all, the shipping line provides us with the manifest, and we have the weight or the gross weight of the bulk cargo that is coming into the port.
Away from that story, reports indicate that Nigeria has extended the closure of its borders to Benin and other West African countries to the end of January 2020, despite several criticisms of the policy heaped on Nigerian authorities. The country says it is preventing smuggling of food into Nigeria, especially rice. Over the weekend, JoyNews pitched camp at the Nigerian-Benin border as Ghana counts down to implementation of a special arrangement to allow free passage to be effected. Now, Ghanaians who are currently stranded at the border since August. JoyNews' head of security desk, Gifty Ando-Apia, interacts with both Ghanaians and Nigerians who are bearing the brunt of this policy and reports the border is not likely to open soon.
They keep stealing diesel from the trucks. We even told the minister. The thieves are really worrying us. We plead with the government to help us. It's difficult to even find food daily. We are really suffering and we are being robbed. I'm a conductor and my master had left. Isn't even clean water for us to drink. Even here since 8th August. Our goods are expiring and the thieves are stealing from us. Even the clean water is hard to come by. It affects our skin when we bath. Look at our sleeping place. The level of theft here is really high. For the trucks with drinks and liquor, they really steal from them. If you are careless, you run into so much debt unless God bails you out. Why? Ghana government should be careful. We have families. They should do something. If they won't allow us to take the goods to our destination, they should let us go home. Even the owners of the goods have abandoned us.
We moved to the Nigerian side of the border. It is littered with scores of uniformed personnel, making it difficult to have any interviews here. These sellers volunteered to hide and speak to us. They allege women are being sexually exploited by border officials.
Since the closure of the border, trading has been extremely chaotic. On your way to the market, immigration officers intimidate you or even beat you up to prevent you from crossing the border. That is why people prefer to use the bushy roadways to avoid them. But it is still risky. When caught, you can be punished. Just to illustrate the violence, I can confirm to you that even mothers are not spared. So we set off early to avoid the immigration officers. They also take advantage of some ladies. I think some help them to pass goods. Ladies feel protected when they give in to the sexual demands of the officials.
From here, we make our way into the Nigerian border town of Badagry. There were armed officials everywhere.
We've just been able to get here through about 10 police posts. The officials on the road are not joking. There is Nigerian immigration, there is Nigerian police, there is Nigerian customs, drug law enforcement agency, all of them. On a road of less than 20 minutes. And we've been in traffic just because we had to wait for our vehicles to be searched. Dropping.
As you can see there, Gifty went through quite a chore to bring us that report. Now, Ranking Member of Parliament, Foreign Affairs Committee Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa believes news that President Buhari is extending the Nigeria-Benin land border closure to January 31, 2020 is an indication that the matters in issue are indeed moving from bad to worse. He is calling for an emergency ECOWAS meeting to resolve the matter.
The approach which member states of ECOWAS have used so far, that is the affected countries negotiating separately, individually with Nigeria. So you've seen Ghana send delegations to Nigeria, Niger and Cameroon, who are also affected, are also trying to reach their own separate deals. It's clearly not working. The extension that President Buhari of Nigeria has just announced confirms that the separatist approach will not work. And that is why I am appealing for an urgent ECOWAS heads of state meeting. The chairman of ECOWAS, the Niger President Mahamadou Issoufou, must convene an emergency heads of state meeting. The ECOWAS Chapter, he has the authority to convene that emergency meeting. And I believe that he will get the support of all member states, because this is at the heart of everything that ECOWAS stands for. The entire integration protocols have been thrown off gear. And the Africa Continental Free Trade Area now even is at risk because of this unilateral conduct by Nigeria. And so we think that this is the time for the sub-regional bodies to show leadership. The individual member states negotiating with Nigeria approach is not working, will not work, and it is not sustainable.
Meanwhile, the National Welfare Officer of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Benny Aboa, is calling on the Trades Ministry and government to enforce the GIPC laws that ensures foreigners do not engage in retail trade in Ghana.
On with this, we had foreigners coming in, and what they do was just to offload whatever they bring to the local trader, and therefore then the local trader just takes it up from them and sells. It's okay even with those coming from ECOWAS because of the ECOWAS treaty, they have a leeway of having about 30 to 90 days, let's say so that they offload their goods to the Ghanaian for him to sell, take their money and go back. But we've seen throughout the years that now they've decided to station in Ghana and open shops or stores or kiosks and then bring the goods and sell themselves. They pass through a lot of unapproved areas within our porous borders, and then they sit here and sell. Luckily for Ghana, we have a law promulgated by the Parliament, the GIPC Act, I'm sure you know about it, which says categorically what a foreigner should do when he or she comes into the country. It's been flouted all these years. Good has been agitating for so many years without any real results, and is ongoing as we speak today.
Now, I know that you're saying the law should be enforced as it is. Now, within all these agitations that Guta has been having, now we've had the Nigerian authorities also closing their borders. How has that also, well, perhaps coincidentally fed into all the protests and the concerns you've been raising all this while?
Coincidentally, it's a good omen. Good omen in a sense that it's teaching us some lessons which the Ghanaian authority should learn from, because we've been listening to the Nigerian counterparts, and they are saying, look, it's always Nigeria first. To them, they have been putting in measures that is helping the Nigerian trader, has been helping the Nigeria manufacturer into making a lot of money, and therefore to them, despite any protocols, it's Nigeria first. So our authorities should learn from them, and it's Ghana first. Because even with ours, luckily, with ours, our law, the GIPC Act, does not infringe in any way on the ECOWAS protocol. Theirs is even infringing on the ECOWAS protocol. But they say, look, they don't really care. It's Nigeria first. What we are telling them is that, look, please, just give us a leeway, an open corridor for our people who are stuck up at the border to take their goods in. If after that you decide to extend the closure, it's up to you. But Ghanaian, the authorities should know that if it's Nigeria first, it's Ghana first. We are partners. We should see each other as so, not one being bigger. I've said that the Nigerian economy might be a bigger one, but not necessarily a successful one.
Now, JoyNews has been checking the impact of the Nigerian border closure from some bus terminals in Accra. According to some travelers, scrutiny of both goods and travelers has brought hardship and inconvenience to them. JoyNews' Henry Kwesibedu spoke to some of them.
Actually, the closure of the border has affected us too much, because look at this, by this time we are having loads. Before we can go first bus, second bus, third bus, but now passengers are not coming, because when you reach the border, you have to sleep overnight. Then 6 a.m. before the border will be open for us to cross. So a lot of passengers are not traveling, and markets, women who used to go and buy things, they don't go again.
So what happens? I'm sure you've seen, the impact firsthand. When they get there, are they allowed to take some goods with them?
Goods, you can cross the border only with your personal belonging, but they don't allow us to cross with goods at all. You can't cross with goods, something.
Away from the border closure, the Ghana Health Service has alerted all frontline healthcare givers to pay critical attention to every common cold case reported. That's according to Director General Dr. Anthony Nsiasari, speaking on the Super Morning Show on Joy FM. Dr. Nsiasari said he has visited some of the schools and the situation is under control. He, however, suggested to the schools to prolong their midterms to prevent spreading of the flu.
Last week, we had a confirmation of common flu or influenza outbreak from 3 schools in the eastern region, namely Krobo, East Girls, Krobo Girls, some others, I think 2 or so secondary school, and then 1 private school. The cases were increasing, and Noguchi had the samples and confirmed it as H3N2. H3N2 is the common influenza which runs from time to time. Luckily, we were able to call on the district, the regional, and then the headquarters also went there to support them for the case management. And the school, graciously enough, all the schools, especially Krobo Girls, where we have a lot of cases at the beginning, to segregate the girls in 1 dormitory. So all the people who had it were segregated in one dormitory. At Tia Hospital and another St. Martin the Forest Hospital in the Krobo area have all gone there, and they are managing the patients at the schools. We have taught them cough etiquette and also hand washing with soap and running water. And so far, it is going down. From yesterday till 2 days ago, cases were about 10. Yesterday, they had only 6 cases. So we are following the cases up. And then the number of cases that comes out every day is going down. We've sent enough Tamiflu. Tamiflu is an antiviral drug against common cold, which we have enough in stock, and we've been sending them. And then we've been making sure that no cases are sent home. So this is how we are managing them. The private school, the cases came down, and I think now they are also on midterm, which will not cause any problem for anybody. So far, so good. It's been contained, so there should be no panic in the situation. It is the common flu that runs in other parts of the world. Luckily, Ghana, we don't have that as something which happens quite often. It comes on and off.
Now, the district level election will be held on December 17, and aspirants are already campaigning. This notwithstanding, the interest in local level elections is still quite low compared to parliamentary and presidential elections. The NCCE, per its mandate, is embarking on a campaign to whip up interest in the local level elections. So, Director of Communications at the National Commission for Civic Education, Joyce Efutu, gave details of the election on News Desk.
Why there's so much apathy. The district level election is the most important election that people would have to participate in it, because the districts are in charge of the overall development of the district. So if you're unless the road is a national, the money involved is very huge. That should be done at the national level, like upgrading, providing infrastructure like markets, stores, pipe bomb, that's potable water, and other amenities that we need at the district level. It's the district assembly that does that, because they are given the common fund to undertake development in the districts. So people must rather be interested in the district level elections, because how many times will you find a president in your district? But as for the district chief executive is there, your representative, who is the assembly member that you have elected to represent you at the district level, the person is there. Unit committee members are also there to ensure that they assist the assembly staff and assembly member to ensure that the place is developed. They are all there. So people should rather be interested in the local level elections rather than the general election.
Futu also encouraged every citizen of voting age to participate in the upcoming referendum to either make election of assembly representatives political or otherwise.
The referendum, Article 294, states that the issue being referred to a referendum, at least there should be 40% turnout.
There should be a 40% turnout.
And out of the 40%, 75% must vote
like
in
the regional creation.
Yes, must vote in favor. So 40% turnout of eligible voters. And out of the 40%, 75% must vote in favor.
Vote yes.
Yes, must vote yes before it can hold. So we are urging all Ghanaians, if you are interested, show interest. I'm not saying if you are interested, get involved and participate in electing your assembly member, unit committee members, and then vote on the national referendum issue of whether you are in favor of allowing political party participation in local level elections or you are not in favor.
So if you don't get the 75%,
it means the status quo will remain, that political parties will be barred from participating in local elections. There are questions that come up that people say that what about if people do not vote for the referendum and the parliament even amends Article 2431 and takes the power from the president and gives it to the people. It means we will let our MMDCs on non-partisan basis.
Okay.
That is going to be the effect.
Okay. Global estates and watch out in the Ningo Pram constituency are filled with ponds, gullies and deep holes, and drivers are forced to drive through them. Residents are not only concerned about the body pains and discomforts they have to endure, but also the insecurity as a result of the bad roads. Residents say some people who used to live in the area have been forced to flee their homes as they are terrorized by robbers who continue to take advantage of the bad roads. Maxwell Agbagba has more.
The issues. I was under attack a number of times at the place. On one occasion, armed robbers came to the area, went to my neighbor's house, broke in and shot the woman in the house. From there, they moved to my apartment, tried several times to break down the door and come in at around 1 a.m. The robbers had enough time to rob my neighbor, take out...
The voice of a banker, Prince Ejay, who formerly lived at PS Global. He abandoned his residence after many attempts by robbers to break into it. His neighbor was shot. That compelled him to move out of the house he bought. He says he felt helpless and too scared to continue living there. Unlike Prince, another resident, Bernard Anan Butchie, couldn't afford to leave his house after armed robbers pointed a gun on him, his pregnant wife, and 2 children. He says he continues to live in fear. The 2 men believe the bad state of the roads in their area has made it possible for robbers to continue to terrorize them.
The worrying part really is the fact that the robbers come and they have time to do whatever they want because it takes a while for a police to come around. The distance from PS Global to the main road is just about 5-6 kilometers, but because of the nature of the road, something that should take you maybe 5 minutes or less, you need about 20 or half an hour.
Ni Alute is the president of the Residents Association. He says some commercial drivers in the community refuse to work anytime it rains.
The last 3 days, the rain, the heavy downpour, I mean, you can't imagine. No car is coming here. If you pick a taxi from Deftraco Junction and you ask them that you are coming to PS Global Court, they will not bring you. They will tell you they are not going. They are not going to use the road. I have to use a 4-wheel drive. My small car is parked. I can't use it. Every year we buy latrite, get a grader to help us grade it. We want government to come to our aid.
Now, 80 students from the Ewutu Senya West constituency have benefited from a scholarship scheme initiated by the Member of Parliament for the area, George Anda. The initiative started 3 years ago for needy but brilliant students, but has so far seen about 100 students benefiting. Presenting the scholarships at a ceremony, George Anda said the government will leave no stone unturned in ensuring that all are empowered through education for a better life.
For the past 3 years.
It's been running for 3 years now, and we seek to help tertiary students in the Ewutu Senya constituency.
So far, almost 200 beneficiaries.
So far, we've helped almost 200 beneficiaries.
Up to 80. 30 of them are directly from central government scholarship fund. 49 with the MP support, power to do more educational fund.
The idea is to essentially support brilliant but needy students so they could give back to the constituency once they're done with their education.
As far as leadership are concerned, as far as contribution to the constituency are concerned. His Excellency the President Nanado, ne free SHS now, the work university. Once so we in Boakakra to the level of the university.